Terrifier 3, for me, this is great because I go all the way back to All Hallows Eve and seeing Art the Clown as a character and having no idea who he is or what he's about. Going into the first Terrifier, which is just blood and guts and gore and more about him being evil. And then the second movie, we really started learning about the why. And at the end of the second one, we're like, what the fuck is this? You start realizing there's like a lot of supernatural shit. This movie, you finally get like the story, like with the father and everything like that. So for me, it's big to get that extra stuff. I think the movie was really good. I know you're gonna get like into character development and all that shit. I don't care about that. The effects, the gore are as good as you'll ever see, and they're like exhaustive. You know, like it's disgusting, but it's so fun, and Art is so funny. The way he makes fun of all of his victims and everything. And then at the end of the movie, it really comes together and it's great. I give it an 80. It's exactly what I wanted out of this movie. Yeah, I think it was great.
Terrorized me. So, I just saw the movie Terrifier 3. Now, I only saw the first one, and then I saw a recap of the second one. Trying to get in here to see this thing, okay? I'll start with the good. So, the prosthetics are exceptional. The low budget, what they bring to the screen for the budget that they must be working with is extraordinary.
One thing on the budget too, though, the first movie they did it on nothing. The second movie I think was like $1 million.
Right.
They made so much money. They wouldn't really money. Yeah, yeah. So he finally has money now, and you can see like his evolution, right, as like a director and a writer, as he's getting more money and like can do more things with it.
Right.
So yeah, just another point I wanted to bring.
Yeah. So in the first one, and even in the second one, there weren't many sets. A lot of big sequence takes place in a house, probably a set, probably not an actual house. But in the first one, it was all actual locations, and there's a certain charm to the sort of DIY way he does these movies, which I give him a lot of respect. Now the actors, they're often off. Like slightly, so they're like either a pitch too dramatic or a pitch too understated. They sort of don't really hit the right, like this is real. A number of frames in the movie were emblematic of Francis Bacon paintings. I mean, literally, there's a scene she's in a tub. I'm like, that could be, if you just took that frame, that's a Francis Bacon painting. So, and that's extraordinary. Even towards the end of the movie, there's a bus stop sequence. That again. There's something extraordinarily great about the framing, but in all these movies, there's issues with the lighting. You know, the lighting's not perfect. The camera work is not great. Some of the way they sound edit the dialogue doesn't actually work. They do great sound editing with the horror aspects of it, but with the dialogue, not so much.
I wonder how much of that is intentional. Like when you understand, like Daniel Leone is such a fan of like the Freddy movies, like Jason movies, all that stuff. So much of this is 80s East Coast like Jason, Freddy shit that was being like in the way that he's doing it. When you're saying like the lighting's not always perfect, or like the acting's always a little bit weird. The sound, I feel like a lot of that's intentional. And like pulling on his heartstrings is like what he grew up with, and he's recreating that in his way. Like that DIY aspect of it that you're talking about that's charming, I think it's intentional.
Yeah. And a lot of the gore, I mean, the creative and maybe, to answer him, maybe. The gore, they're very creative in new ways to gross you out. I mean, just everything is just, and it goes on, and they don't care that they're taking a long time, and it's silly. It's also silly. And he's also developing a mythology to his characters, which is kind of interesting, even though it seems slapped together and haphazard and very flimsy. There sort of seems to be a mythology in the background that he's eventually going to get to more and more. And there was a clip of something they showed in this. I don't want to get into it to spoil it. But a guy making a sword. It was, again, Francis Bacon, very artistic, very creative.
Badass black metal video.
That was crazy. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. So
I was like, what the fuck is
so
that?
all that, that's all that's happening. But for me, I start to get in my head like, why, as a human being, would I want to see something like this? The gore and the graphic, and what is it about people that want to witness horrific acts of violence? So I start thinking about that, and I don't have an answer. I really don't have an answer. And usually I don't want to see that. I mean, I'm ready for like a romantic comedy after watching this. Believe me, this is
from a horror perspective though. It's the evolution again. Like you start with like Universal monsters and like Frankenstein and shit, and they had to keep pushing it. By the time we got to the 70s and the 80s, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all this shit, Freddy. He's a kid from the 80s, like me. Like grew up watching this gory shit, and he loved it. It became his passion. I relate to that. Right?
This is like
Blair, pushing it to the next level.
This is like Blair Witch and Saw without the production value. It's like Saw without the production value. Blair Witch with slightly elevated production. Acting is
Art the Clown is captivating as a character.
This is better than any Saw other than the first one, bro. Like it.
Yeah, this whole movie sucked except for the first one.
But narratively and emotionally, do you care about any characters?
Yes,
Yeah,
you do. You care about the fact like
I didn't connect to the main character. I'm gonna give it like a 50. That's what I'm gonna give it, a 50. It's going down. The first one I liked better. It was more charming. It was
The first
more
one's great.
It's sort of just like there's nothing. It's just
I
happening.
don't think he had a story in the first place. He had a character, and he made a movie, and it became really successful, and people wanted more. And he started to develop sort of back like reverse engineered like the story to slide in. The 2 and 3, when you watch 2 and 3, you're like, okay, there's a story. There's demons, there's angels.
Right.
It's a story of like angels and demons, and it's gory, but that's not what like he had a character.
Right.
And people were in love with Art the Clown. I fell in love with Art the Clown the minute I saw it, like back at All Hallows Eve. Like I was like, who the fuck is this crazy clown?
Mine's being creepy and crazy. Anyway, so that's it. Peace and love. Thanks for watching my review. Come to the movies with me. I want to hear what you have to say. I love you. I appreciate you for watching. And yeah, share my videos, like my videos, and comment on my videos. Peace.